Good evening, everyone. Good evening. All right. This meeting is being held in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, and adequate notice of this meeting has been provided as required by law. Specifically, the revised annual notice was emailed for the West Essex Tribune and the Star Ledger on January 2nd, 2024, and the 48-hour notice was emailed to the West Essex Tribune and the Star Ledger on March 2024. The agenda and resolutions for the meeting are available at www.livingstonnj.org. Certain portions of this meeting may be closed to the public for the purpose of personnel and/or other matters as outlined in the Sunshine Law. Decisions made and/or discussed in closed session will be made known to the public at a later time. Notice to members of the governing body and township staff: any use of electronic devices during this meeting shall be used solely for the purposes of township business, and any communications are subject to the Open Public Records Act. To the extent possible, this evening's Township of Livingston Council meeting will be live streamed via Facebook at www.facebook.com/Livingston Township NJ. Questions or comments will be accepted by emailing livcomments@livingstonnj.org by 4 p.m. on the day of the meeting. Each speaker should follow the rules of order in Livingston Code Section 2-15 and emailed to the West Essex Tribune and the Star Ledger. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Baptani?
Here.
Vieira?
Present.
Klein?
Here.
Deputy Mayor Meinhardt?
Here.
Mayor Anthony?
Here. We'd like to stand for a moment of silence and the Pledge of Allegiance. For the moment of silence, please remember in your thoughts and prayers Ralph Reyes' mother, of our longtime resident of Livingston. She was 101 years old. I pledge allegiance to the flag. Okay, there'll be no, Eileen Fishman is not here tonight, I don't believe, so we're going to skip over the Essex County updates. The next on the agenda, we have proclamations and presentations. We do have the Chess Club here tonight, who's made us so proud, #1 in the state. We do have a presentation, a proclamation for everyone here tonight. As a chess enthusiast myself, but not very good, and a regular attendant at Chess and Bagels on Saturday, I know what you guys are doing. It's amazing. I've played, I think, with 2 of you. But anyway, I have been asked by the chess team to, before we give the proclamation, that you would like to say a couple words and make a presentation of your own. So is the whole team coming up to make the presentation? Yes? Yeah? Okay, all right, why don't you come up? We have a microphone over here.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. I am Eric Guo.
Is it my height?
No, just maybe a bit taller, higher. Okay, let's try that again. Good evening, everyone. I'm Eric Guo, the president of the LHS Chess Club and one of the team captains for this year. And first, we want to thank Mayor Anthony and the Livingston Town Council for inviting us tonight and celebrating this special event with us. And first, we want to thank Mr. Peklo right there. Without him, this season would not have been so successful, because Mr. Peklo has not only mentored us, coached us, inspired us, he has also fed us very delicious pizza and he epitomizes dedication. In fact, the week of the state tournament, Mr. Peklo was expecting a baby, and he still came with us to both days of the tournament, and he managed to watch us win the state championship for the second year in a row. And the baby didn't come. So Mr. Peklo got to share in with all the fun. So we would just like to express our gratitude to Mr. Peklo, and we invite him up to receive this gift. Roger would like to share a few words.
Okay, now I'm going to talk a little about a season recap and what we did during the season and what we are still hoping to do later. First of all, as you guys already know from last year, we won the state tournament last year, and we're looking for even greater success this year, which I think we already had. First of all, in November, in the beginning of the winter season, we debuted our winter season with the NJ grade school championship, with the 10th grade team getting first in the state, and we also had the 10th grade champion and the 10th grade second place, who both got perfect scores. Additionally, the 9th grade team also got second place overall. In December, many members of the Livingston High School chess team went to Orlando, Florida to participate in the national K-12 grades championship, and we also did very amazingly well there. In the 10th grade, we nearly got first and ended up getting second in the nation, while in 10th grade we had a fourth place. In 11th grade, we had someone who got third place, and many other amazing accomplishments. Furthermore, we had an undefeated season for the winter season, and also in the state championships, which were held in March at Union County. The varsity team got first place again and became the state champion for the second time in a row. Finally, here I have with me a plaque of a major team tournament in the US, actually one of the biggest in the nation, called the World Amateur Team Championship, where we outcompeted many other stronger teams to win the best high school team for the club, and which we are extremely proud of, and we would love to thank everyone and our coach. Thank you. Finally, we are going to the National High School Championship during the break, and we hope to do our best. We know we have great chances, much more than last year, and we will tell you how it goes later. Thank you so much.
Coach Peklo, I got a question. We were trying to set this up 2 weeks ago, and you said it was iffy because the baby was on its way. When was the baby born?
2 weeks ago.
So good thing we didn't do this exactly 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Wow. Congratulations. You want to say a little something about the team?
I just want to say thank you, most importantly, to the players on the team here. Everybody, you're awesome. It's all about you. It's not about me. So thank you for letting me be a part of the journey. Thank you to the administration for all the support, really. We really appreciate that. And to the parents, thank you, thank you, thank you. Chess is time-consuming and expensive, so thank you. And thank you to my wife, who is at home with our 2-year-old and 2-week-olds. Allowed me to sneak out.
So, Coach, we do have individualized citations, which we're going to give out to the the whole team. They all say the same thing. We're going to give them out individually, but this is the plaque for yourself. And as you can see, it says the mayor and the township council members are pleased to congratulate Livingston High School chess team 2024 New Jersey State Championship first place winners. We thank them for the pride that they bring to our community as the first place winners in the state of New Jersey championships, and head to the National High School Championships in Baltimore, Maryland in April 2024. And we congratulate each one of them individually, and we're going to present them right now. Okay? This.
Do we have all the?
Yes, they're down there. Yeah, they're down there. Microphone here. Yes. Oh, okay. Want to come up? Okay. We also have a joint proclamation from our sitting New Jersey Assemblywoman. And oh, by the way, we have all our Board of Ed here, just about. We have Fong and Pam and Parul and Janisa and Danielle and who else? Oh, he was whispering something else. And Dr. Maplock. And and an educator herself. So this is quite a moment for Livingston High School and our chess team. So I'll turn it over to our Assemblywoman. Do you want to give the joint proclamation?
I'm gonna just, it's a very long one. We had a lot of information that we were given. I'll show it to you. It's a joint proclamation from the Senate and the Assembly for the chess team. And I'll tell you, Aston, where are you? Your mom is an incredible force for the entire team. We were at the State of the County address, and she was telling Sean Klein, Councilmember Klein, how great your team was doing. And we were standing together, and I said, if you win states, I will give you a joint proclamation. Well, Mom did not forget. She contacted Sean and I, and she said, guess what? They won! Can we have our joint proclamation? So here it is. I'm handing it to your teacher. So on behalf of the state of New Jersey, the Senate, and the Assembly, we congratulate you. And there are state citations for each and every one of you. We'll be back if you win nationals.
Okay, we all grabbed a few of these. Ed, you said you wanted to go first? All right. Here you go.
So when we call your name, if you'd come up, please, and we can congratulate you individually and give you your citation. First is Claire Cheng. Doesn't matter which one. You can give it. Either one. Yeah, it's fine. Either one. We can just give. Okay. Congratulations. All right. Matt G. Congratulations. Eric Gao? No? Oh, right here. Oh, sorry. Congratulations again. And Lev Kokagnov? I'll apologize now for my fellow council members and the pronunciation of names.
Unlike Ed, I didn't get to practice. So, Harry Muthakumar. Harry's not here. Here you go, Harry. Aston Robbins. Roberts. Hey, congratulations. Quan Tran. Congratulations. And Tom Valavev.
Lucas Xiong. Did I get that right?
A+.
Did I get that right?
C minus.
It's like, Roger Zhang.
Roger, hi. Congratulations. Okay. Aviral Bardwaj? Not here? Okay. And Abhiman Chandan.
So you're going next?
Yeah, you could.
No, go.
Why, you want me to go?
No, up to you.
You could go.
Are you sure?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, the tough one's at the end. Let's give you. All right, Ilyas Chen. This is from junior varsity. Congratulations. George Shui. That's a lot of chess words there. Yeah. Congratulations. Sam Israel. Sam is not here. Okay. What am I saying? And Jerry Z. Congratulations, Jerry.
Congratulations. I know that's a tough one. Xander Liu? Xander Liu? All right. Ben Merkus? And Ayush Saxena. Congratulations. Congratulations again.
You guys all get in.
Yeah, we're going to take a photo. Congratulations again, the entire team. You make us proud.
Have the citation with you, though.
Great. Thank you so much. Congratulations again. Okay, next on the agenda is the approval of the minutes. Have a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make that motion, Mayor.
Okay,
I'll second.
great. Any opposed? All in favor?
Aye.
Yeah, okay. No, motion?
I do, thank you.
Yes.
That's what they were discussing.
Yeah, just for the correction, we were talking about a possible correction, but it's okay.
Okay, next we have public comment on agenda items only.
I'd like to open the meeting for public comment on agenda items only.
Have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Justin?
Hi, Mr. Mayor. Justin Alpert, 56 Amherst Place. Saving the ordinance readings for that session. Resolution 24127, renewing permission to raise flags as an expression of government speech. Could you please pull this from the consent agenda for discussion? This is a legal fiction. The only purpose of this council is to serve the public. Your authority comes from the public. We have not created a special class of speech for the government. The government is only as a reflection of the people. There is one flag to raise. It is the Stars and Bars. It represents everybody with liberty and justice for all. It should be open to all who want to come to a flag raising and participate in that ceremony. There's no need to raise any other flag whatsoever because that flag covers all of us. This 24127 is a legal fiction. It is an overextension of your authority. It should be pulled and it should be shot down. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Justin.
Door has to stay open. Door has to stay open. It's a public meeting.
I'd like to
Okay.
close the public, this part of the meeting for a public comment on non-agenda items.
Is there
I'll
a
second it.
Okay.
Non-agenda items, sorry,
On agenda,
on agenda items.
Second.
all in favor? Any opposed? No? All in favor, okay, good. Okay, we're now up to the passage of ordinances, the final hearing. Madam Clerk?
Mayor?
Thank you, Mayor.
And yes.
Mayor, I'd like to pull ordinance 05-2024 and table it and move it to the next meeting.
Second.
Second, okay. All in favor? Aye. Yep.
Councilmember Baptani?
Yes.
Klein?
Yes.
Viera?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Martinhart?
Yes.
Mayor Anthony?
Yes.
Madam Clerk, when will the public hearing be?
Excuse me, Lee, can you open the door in the back? We have to keep one door open. It's got to stay open at all times. Thank you.
Is that on for
The
April
public hearing,
8th?
it will be tabled till Monday, April 8th.
There'll be no new notice given.
Great, thank you. The next one, I believe the mayor and deputy mayor are recused on.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes, you are.
Counselor, do you want to run this part of the meeting?
Madam Clerk, please read ordinance 10-2024 by title.
Ordinance 10-2024, authorizing the purchase and sale agreement with Brightview.
Is there a motion to open the public hearing?
I'd like to make a motion to open the public hearing.
Second.
Yes.
Before we start the clock, do the recusals need to leave the room? I guess, Councilmember Klein, you're the senior person. Councilmember Klein, Ordinance 1024, authorizing the purchase and sale agreement with Bright Sale. We are making a fundamental mistake here. In the next ordinance, it shows who the owners are, and it is all the executives of the company through trusts that they have created up for themselves. We have not properly valued the property, just tagging off of the value of this property here, and we know that that valuation is fundamentally flawed because the whole system is flawed, and this is not a rent-paying property. So the valuation is flawed, and this is the last thing that you want to be doing. You don't want to sell property from outside of the community. This is the fundamental problem in the minority communities that have suffered for decades under single-party control by the Democrats. Only here we don't have the racist banking and land use laws to hide behind. This company's coming in here. We're selling our skate park to a Maryland LLC. That's all, the land is all being self-dealt. It's all going to the owners. This is a fundamental mistake. It's a mistake across the board. There have been conflicts in here from the beginning. There have been people who have been recused and then unrecused. The golf club came in to present their case next door. We never had that here. There was never a public presentation. We can't ask questions. Councilman Butani just came on the board, and there should have been a new session, a new public session. Instead, he was sent to speak privately to the developer. This whole thing is broken. The purchase and sale agreement is broken. It's short-sighted. There's no opportunity to reclaim the real property in the future. We're selling it without any proper valuation. We need to slow this down and take the time. And I would request that the three of you, the three who are unrecused, hold off on voting on this until we can discuss the next ordinance, the financial agreement. They've submitted bogus financials on just the landowning company. 100% of the rents are going to go to taxes. Well, who's putting up the money? Who's providing that float for 30 years? This is broken. This is a fraud. There needs to be a deeper due diligence. Thank you, Councilmember Klein.
I'm just here as a Parul Kemka, Livingston, New Jersey. I'm here as a private citizen. About the pilot, has anything been discussed about percentage going to the school versus staying with the town? Because I know that in the last year when pilots were being discussed, there was discussion about a certain percentage being given to schools. So it would be helpful to learn about that.
Well, that's actually the next ordinance, but since you asked the question, we'll go ahead and answer it. The council has discussed that. There hasn't been any definitive decisions. I will say this particular project, there wouldn't be a time to make it. There's still ample time to develop a policy because the pilot wouldn't kick in until the project is fully constructed. So you're several years down the road. So certainly the council has indicated in the past a receptiveness to evaluating any type of pilots and some equitable sharing with the Board of Ed. But nothing's been finalized, but again, we're still several years away.
I'll make that motion.
Second. Aye.
Yes.
Is there a motion to adopt the ordinance?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Is there any discussion among the council members?
I'll just say on my own, I think that this is something that is going to be a net positive for the community. It accomplishes two goals. The first is that we have a new rateable coming in an area where we are not making any tax benefit whatsoever. And then the second benefit will be that this will allow the Y, which is currently next door to this building, to move across to another property, which will be an excellent use for that property and also will prevent what would end up being high-density housing that would end up being built on that property. So this is a way to protect Livingston against overdevelopment and increase our ratables, and I think it's a very, I'm going to vote yes to support this.
Thank you. My comments are the same as at the last meeting and echo Councilman Klein's. You know, we have two pieces of property in Livingston. We have the YMCA and we have the church that was across the street that the YMCA was planning to build. Both of them have not had taxes on them for years and years and years and years and years. And what we're doing with this sale of the Y to Brightview is putting the old YMCA back on the tax roll. And with that also, we are leaving a YMCA in Livingston because, you know what, if that property cannot be sold, the YMCA has already said, you know what, we may look elsewhere and we may move out of Livingston. And, you know, the YMCA has been a fixture in this town, has done so much, not only for the residents of this town, but for so many others throughout the community and outside the community. And there's no way that I am going to let the Y, under my term as a council member, leave Livingston. My vote today is to support the YMCA, make sure that the YMCA stays in Livingston for as long as they want to. So my comments today is for both ordinances. Thank you.
So I'm going to add a few things here. I see this as a tremendous benefit for keeping the Y in town with a modern state-of-the-art Y coming across the street. I agree with my fellow council members. It increases the taxable properties, the number of taxable properties, and it's a prime one. Instead of having a non-taxable properties, two of them, now we have one, which is going to be taxable. In terms of other benefits, I clearly see, and maybe Barry, you can, if you have any numbers right now, this type of facility comes in and gives us a rentable space without having kids coming to the schools, and also gives us the credit for affordable housing. So where do you get that, right? See, affordable housing, this essentially replaces, let's say if it is 12 or 14 credits we get, that's replacing 70 apartments and the current calculations. So that's the kind of benefits we are looking at, and of course, these numbers will be drawn up as the state law and other components gets cleared up. But the idea of having this, Y coming in with a modern state-of-the-art Y across the street, additional taxable property, giving us the credit on affordable housing. These are some of the great benefits, I think, that comes in with these ordinances. So I think it is a good one.
Any further discussion?
Jared, yeah, I'm sorry. I had forgotten to emphasize that with the sale of this property to Brightview, this project will not bring one child into our community. This is for an assisted living facility, and there will not be one child going to our school because of this property sale. Thank you.
Anything further? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Boktani.
Yes.
Councilmember Vieira.
Yes.
Councilmember Klein.
Yes.
Ordinance is passed.
Madam Clerk, please read ordinance 11-2024 by title.
Ordinance 11-2024, authorizing financial agreement and LTTE application.
Can I have a motion over the public hearing?
I'll make a motion.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Hi, Councilman Klein, Justin Alpert, 56 Amherst Place. The mayor, in his inauguration ceremony, said that he was going to be against further uses of pilots. If he were unrecused, I imagine that he would be standing forward, saying that he is against the use of a pilot. I'm not sure what the basis is for the $425,000 a year. Do you know, Mr. Township Manager?
I think it's all set forth in the application.
Yeah, I didn't find the basis for $425,000 a year. I'm not sure what the taxes would normally be under the ASI proprietary model, which we've never actually seen the the way that they developed their model. This is a mistake. 30 years, you're going to provide a flat rate for all of these wealthy trusts back here, belonging to, let's see how much time we have, belonging to the Arnold I. Richmond Revocable Trust, that's the Brightview chairman, the Marilyn K. Duker Revocable Trust, that's the co-chair, the Jeffrey K. Hedelman Revocable Trust, he's the executive vice president, the Paul Douglas Dolenberg Jr., that may not be a trust, he may own that directly, he's the president and CEO, Brian Engel, senior vice president. These are the people benefiting from all this. They all live down in Maryland. And you're providing them a break. Our whole tax system is fundamentally broken. We should be using taxes to forcibly depreciate outside interests. Instead, when the people of Livingston do the work to raise the quality of Livingston, raise the quality of living in Livingston, that appreciated value of real property is going to flow to the grandchildren of these executives. This is a fundamental mistake. We should not be issuing another pilot. We need a new pilot program. This is a mistake. Please do not do that. Thank you, Councilman Klein. Oh, by the way, while I have another minute, they submitted totally bogus financials, right? I mean, it's not even for the operating company. It's just for the landholding company. They put into financials, if you put them up, you would see, they put in occupancy rates. Totally irrelevant. They put in no room for profits whatsoever. They'll probably put this in a non-public real estate investment trust and sell the interest to retirees. And it's just a mistake. The whole thing's a mistake. We need better control over our real property. We need to use tax policy to gain better control over our real property. We need better quality local banking to gain control over our real property. This is a step backwards all the way. It was a fundamental mistake. People sat on this issue with conflicts for years. There should have been a new hearing. There wasn't. Should have been a new hearing when the new councilman came on. There wasn't. This was a mistake. You all should reconsider. Thank you very much.
Can I have a motion to close the public hearing?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Yes.
Is there a motion to adopt the ordinance?
I'll make that motion.
Discussion, right?
Is there any discussion amongst the council members?
Yeah, I have some comments on it. I don't think of this as being some sort of conspiratorial effort by people from Maryland trying to come and take over Livingston. To me, this is about people who recognize that Livingston is a great place to do business and they want to invest here. And if they want to invest here and create a successful business in Livingston, we welcome them. And we're glad that you've looked at Livingston and want to be here. I want to thank Caton for his work. He's a very new person on this committee, and he's already made a tremendous difference in his work on this particular, in other places as well, but on this particular deal, he has, to the tune of, I would imagine, at least 6 figures, made a huge improvement towards Livingston and our financial outcome over the time of this pilot. I think that when you look at the numbers, I have seen some modeling of how the numbers are going to come in on this pilot, and in a few years, we will be making, have better tax receipts coming in on the pilot than we would if we were just getting regular receipts as a business owner in town. So the pilot here is actually genuinely advantageous to the township, and part of that benefit is due to your work on this. So thank you, Keaton.
Thank you, Sean.
Yeah, I know I wasn't going to make any comments, but you know what? If this project did not go through tonight, you know what? You would have seen more development in town. You know, this council has been screamed at for the last 2 years because of the development that we had to approve because of the Fair Share Housing Corporation. And you know what? I understand the community and their anger. However, this project right now, it's not bringing any new buildings. If the YMCA builds where they're going to build, Brightview builds where they're going to build, okay, it's not bringing a lot more people into this town. It's not bringing any children into this town, okay? This one is a definite easy one to approve because, you know what? There is no school overcrowding. You know, we're getting blamed right now because of school overcrowding. There's not one shovel in the ground yet for most of the work that we did. However, this project is not putting one child into the school, and with this, it's not bringing any new development onto those two pieces of property. So this is an easy one tonight.
I'm going to start by saying that I've had several conversations with the Brightview. I have read the documents. Thank you, Barry, for providing the material I kept on asking more and more for, and you kept on providing the details. And the history as well. So it's not that I walked in eyes closed. I agree with Councilman Klein that this is not to sell out Livingston. This is a firm I've engaged. They have engaged with me on estimation models. I've looked at those estimation models. As Councilman Klein said, we negotiated and renegotiated. At the end of the day, this is going to yield more dollars for the township. It is an amended pilot in a way that it brings us additional resources. The flat rate, it's absolutely not true. It is not a flat rate. It is, there is a cap on top of it, which covers us for, which makes room for inflations. So it has an additional room beyond what we have agreed to, which is 3%, which is beyond what we normally tax or cannot tax beyond 2% as is the regulation. But coming to 3%, there is an additional room of 1%, inflation adjusted. So that we have covered ourselves as well. All in all, in conversations with the company, I found them to be having a great interest in the community. So if we say that these are just outsiders, on paper, different story maybe, but they are interested in community participation. We've engaged and challenged them in terms of knowing what our senior community look like, and they were sufficiently able to answer some of it. So I think the idea is to, again, going back to it whole and whole, it is a project where we were able to work through the financials, get through benefits for ourselves, and at the same time, as I mentioned earlier, modern state-of-the-art Y across the street, additional taxable property, which is a pretty significant one, gaining resources for ourselves at the end of the pilot. And as Councilman Klein noted, middle of the pilot, it is actually yielding much more money for us to than otherwise possible. And on top of it all, affordable housing credits. So I think it's a pretty good deal here.
Any further comment? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Votani.
Yes.
Councilmember Vieira.
Yes.
Councilmember Klein.
Yes.
All right. Great, thanks. We are now up to the consent agenda for resolutions. All matters listed with an asterisk are considered to be routine and non-controversial by the council and will be approved by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a member of the governing body so requests, in which case the item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered in its normal sequence on the agenda as part of the general orders. Does anyone want anything removed from the consent agenda? Seeing none? Okay, Madam Clerk.
Resolution 24-123, appointment of Krishna Majitha. Resolution 24-124, authorizing disposition of surplus. Resolution 24-125, authorizing the award of contract to Mumford Workman Associates, Inc. Resolution 24-126, authorizing the award of a contract to Vortex Services, LLC. Resolution 24-127, renewing permission to raise flags as an expression of government speech. Resolution 24-128, authorizing transfer of 2023 budget appropriation reserves.
I'll move the resolutions.
Do I have a second? Thank you. Any opposed? All in favor?
Aye.
We need a roll call, Madam.
Roll call, yeah.
Roll
Roll call. Councilmember Votani.
Yes.
Vieira.
Yes.
Klein?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Manhart?
Yes.
Mayor Anthony?
Which one?
Yes. Not sure.
I'd like to open the meeting, the public portion of the meeting on any subject.
Great.
Second.
All in favor? Okay.
Good evening, everybody.
Hi. Can
I'm
you
sure
state
you're all
your-
wondering why we're here. My name's Don Adams. This is Cheryl Waldrum. We're from East Hanover. We live right over the water where the Rockaway River, or Passaic River at that point is, where Livingston meets East Hanover and Roseland. Unfortunately, I've been an East Hanover resident for the last 4 years. I've joined with at least a dozen of my neighbors from our neighborhood over there who've been there for well over 30 years, some of us for 40 years since the neighborhood was built in the 80s. As you know, you have a firing range for your police squad that sits right on the river in East Hanover. And the things that I really want to point out, as some of you have mentioned before, is noise complaints. Noise complaints from pickleball are one thing. Noise complaints from guns being fired 24/7, 5 days a week, are another thing. Your town has rented it out to the New Jersey State Police. Our police chief, Chief Canizzo, has spoken with the New Jersey State Police Superintendent, who came to our development and heard 700 state police officers firing off rounds 2 weeks ago, 5 days a week, from 9 in the morning to 4 in the afternoon, and vowed that the New Jersey State Police will never fire another round in your facility because it's inhumane. And he sent his sincere apologies to us as residents because of the noise complaint. My question is that if the New Jersey State Police can do it, why can't the Livingston Police do it? Secondly, pollution. You guys are worried about fireworks going off into drinking water. What about the lead pollution going into the river that's less than 100 feet away? The pollution drains down, and it's a public facility for people to go fishing. If you check on TikTok or YouTube, you can find countless times that kids have posted stray bullets going through. You have berms that aren't to code, that are used as your fire protection, as well as your sound barriers to our community. You've created an ordinance for your town that says, okay, between the months of November and March, we won't do it because it's too loud. But I can assure you, 2 weeks ago, we were in the beginning of March, and it's like a war zone. It was like literally being on Iraq. I'm a physician, I'm a trauma surgeon at Morristown. I can tell you that hearing loss begins at 60 decibels. In this room tonight, we're talking at about 40. We have recorded, and I can share it with you, constant 75 decibel levels from guns being fired nonstop, okay? I have an 18-month-old little girl. She shouldn't have to wake up in the morning to bullets going off. I shouldn't have a hard time putting her down for a nap because you want to shoot guns. She shouldn't go outside and walk down the driveway and stop and look around and point because you guys want to shoot fireworks off 24/7. And just to give you a taste of what it actually is like, I'd like to play this for you. Of course, it's not going to work now.
Sound on the bottom.
It's not going off. I apologize. Hold on.
What? Thank you.
She can go.
Do you want me to go?
Go ahead. Okay? Just coming from my speaker. But this is constant. 9 in the morning to 4 in the afternoon. That's one. There's another. Hold on.
Sir, your
Sorry.
time's up.
She can speak too.
Sure. And I don't know about you. Can you unplug that speaker, please?
I'm sorry?
Can you unplug that speaker, please?
Not a problem.
Thank you.
You know, it's hard for us to do business at home with this going off in the background. So it could also be very difficult to have a meeting with this going on constantly too.
Cheryl Waldrum, Fox Run Drive. I've lived there since 2016. During COVID, I worked from home. My children were schooled from home. My walls shake. That video was taken by me outside my front door. I can't be on conference calls because of the noise, and it's constant. We've asked for help for years. I don't know if you've ever heard of this before, but you wouldn't want this outside your front door. I know the gun range was there before us. It's 2024. Why are we shooting police guns within a close proximity to any neighborhood? Why are we outdoors? Right there, by highways, by businesses, by homes where children play. There's other land in New Jersey that they can use. You don't have to come here. And we're asking you for your help to understand, as our whole community came here, there's many more who just didn't come tonight. It is loud, it's disturbing, and it's not something a 2-year-old should walk outside and point around. To his point, I ask for your consideration to close it permanently to everybody.
You're welcome.
Thank you. And same topic? Or?
Same topic.
Okay. Barry, did we have an update on that? On
Do you hold the time for a second?
Can I speak first?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
My name is Natalie Bartlett. I am the superintendent of schools in East Hanover, New Jersey. I live on Fox Run Drive. I just want to say I am so happy I don't live in Livingston. Do you want to know why? Mayor, I know you were with my mayor right in front of my house. I know you heard that gun range. But do you know who got the state police out? My Mayor Panullo, and my chief of police. Your chief of police let a sergeant make a deal. Did you know that? You all know that because I sent you all the videos. Let's not play dumb. Shame on all of you. Because if it's affecting us, it's also affecting residents that aren't speaking up. Shame on you. Shame on you. I have never, ever, ever been so disappointed in a town council or a mayor. You stood in front of my house with my mayor, yet you did nothing. My police chief and my mayor took care of it. Did you?
Your police chief and your mayor with our police chief and our assistant manager, and we did see the problem, and we looked at it, and that's why I wanted Barry to mention that I think there's been some updates since then.
Well, now the state police are not shooting, but your officers are still shooting at ungodly hours.
Yeah, it was Troop
And
B.
Essex County.
It was the State Troop B, which I had many discussions. I know
But
Mayor
now it's not
Joe,
the troopers with
and
short
Joe
rifles.
called on your behalf and represented his.
There's still
residents. Also met
shooting
with,
going on.
Councilman Bryan, who came with us as well.
There's still shooting going on.
They still are, like they've been shooting for how many years, Barry?
I have been living there for 25 years. So I don't want to hear this is ungodly lately. So I don't know what's going on over there. We hear, and listen, there's no town that's more pro-police. No town. We bleed blue, and we want them to train. But don't train in an area where we have patients with cancer that can't rest, that the husband comes out crying, that children can't sleep, that we have animals that are shaking and traumatized. It's Livingston's problem. Shame on you. Shame on you, Livingston. I am blessed I live in East Hanover, New Jersey.
Go back. Well, let people finish, then I'll respond. Yeah. Justin, are you on the gun range?
Well, I'll start on the gun range and then move to other topics.
Okay, well, because I was going to
Go ahead.
kind of provide a position
Please
on
do.
So yeah, just by way of history for anyone who's hearing this for the first time, and certainly people on Facebook. First, the land was donated to the township specifically for a gun range in 1961 and has been used continuously since then. The residents, as the one gentleman indicated, in this neighborhood were built in the 80s, 20 years later. Again,
You can't take questions from
continuous
the
use. The firearms training, it's not that we just want to go shoot guns. It's mandated by the state that all law enforcement officers have to qualify with firearms at regular intervals. There are, as one of the other people referenced, there are residents and houses in Livingston that are equally distant from the firing range as this neighborhood, and at least in my 6 years, I've not received complaints from Livingston residents. There was repeated reference by the first gentleman to 24/7, and there was another reference by the last woman to ungodly hours. The chief has indicated, and I think the one gentleman recognized it, that the shooting is limited. These were all concessions that were made throughout the years to Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. With very limited exceptions. They don't shoot on weekends. They stopped shooting during the winter months because the leaves were off the trees. Now, most recently, there was a request and there was an agreement, and they allowed the state police to train there. I think a mistake was made, that I don't think people fully appreciated how many state police were going to come and train. independent of the meeting that was referenced, our chief had already determined and reached out to the state police to suggest that they're going to have to find another location. So the state police, which literally they were hundreds of officers, well more than Livingston or even Roseland uses it. A couple, East Hanover actually used to shoot there as well. But the state police was more recent, so I don't know if there's been an uptick in the activity, but that will be coming to an end with the, and certainly we want to be sensitive. The chief is looking into whether, what other options might be available. Obviously, having a range in town when we have mandatory training is invaluable in terms of access to our officers, in terms of, overtime considerations, in terms of not having officers go out of town if they're on duty. But we are certainly open to, and again, the first step will be to stop the state police, which I think was a major impact, unforeseen, and I apologize for that. And certainly somebody should have clarified how many state police were coming before they allowed it, but that will end. And again, we are looking at what other options may be available, both in terms of locationally and or soundproofing that could be done there, or potentially even creating an indoor range. So everything's on the table.
Mayor? Barry, the point brought up about the berm, is there any accuracy in that?
I'm not sure exactly what the reference was to the
That it
berm, but
wasn't high-
I made
guess
a
it
note of
wasn't
it.
high enough, or it wasn't
That non-compliant.
code.
I've made a note of it, and I will certainly look into it. That is one of the things, whether additional berms, additional landscaping, sound walls, whether, and what's the cost of that versus some other option. But everything's being under consideration.
Thank you.
Thank you, Barry.
I'm sorry, Barry. So can I just ask, so this obviously has been going on for 20, 25 years. The only difference so far, or even longer than that, the only difference is that the state troopers were allowed to shoot for a while, and now they're not allowed to shoot.
Well, the state troopers will be, I will say this, the agreement with the state troopers certainly coincided with the influx of complaints.
Okay, 'cause we've never-
And it was a significant number of troopers, we came to find out,
Okay.
so.
So we're thinking that now that the state troopers are no longer allowed, is that correct? They're no longer allowed?
The chief has indicated, I think it's been ended already. It sounds like somebody said this, somebody from the state police has already conceded that they're not going to, so I did not hear it. The chief was unfortunately out of town, or he would have been here tonight. But that will end. I'm sure that, any gunfire is more than they want to hear, but certainly it'll, at a minimum, go back to what was the more historic frequency, which is, we have 70 officers that have to qualify twice a year. So you're not 5 days a week, 24/7,
Exactly.
365 days a year.
'Cause that's what-
But in conjunction with that, we're also looking at what other options are available.
Okay, because we haven't heard, this is the first time, at least in the last 10 or 11 years, that we've heard anything about this on this council, so thank you.
Thanks, Barry.
How long have the state police been there? How long have they been using it for?
Specialty units were using it just a couple of, what I would say is more equivalent to that. And then recently, I don't know, I can get the exact dates, that the rank and file, the actual patrol officers from the whole section, which literally turned into hundreds of officers.
Okay.
That's another point too. We also learned that they qualify on high-power rifles, which are significantly louder. Our officers train with pistols. That was another, and again, accepting responsibility, because ultimately the buck stops with me because I'm the town manager, that somewhere along the way, somebody should have pinned down the details on the state police use, but that is being corrected.
Thank you, Barry. Hi.
Hi, Sandra Canillo. I live on Dartmoor Road, and you're correct, Barry, congressman, or whatever. The buck does stop with
Town
you.
manager.
So
running for-
one thing that I've never heard anybody here mention is it's an open range. Does anybody think about the children who will be roaming around in the woods, or do you think that they don't go outside? And I also would like you to please clarify when you say it's continuous use, because I've been in this neighborhood for 24 years. The first few years that I was here, that range was not occupied. And if it was occupied, it wasn't in use. So I'd like clarity on your continuous use.
I've only been here 6 years, but the chief has been here 35 years, and he says long before they were there, and again, when it's just our department, it may be 2 or 3 days on 2 different occasions during the year, and with other departments, but it was the state police that all of a sudden it became a 5 days a week, week after week after week, which was, again,
It was more than
unforeseen.
5 days a week. It was
I don't
7,
know.
so let's, and there is military-grade equipment that's being fired.
Right.
I do not understand how you all can sit here right now and look at the residents here and say that you're okay with this, with it's an open range. Any child can walk back there, be playing in the woods, then what will you do? Do we have an answer? Or is that what you're waiting for? Before you react, maybe put up a wall, enclose it. If you have to stay in that spot, enclose it.
Well, I mean, that's certainly one of the options.
No, it should be the only
Well,
option, sir.
With all due respect, it's an option that's being reviewed. I will say this, as far as the range, it's a short range, it's not a long-range rifle, so they're not shooting from 100 yards. Literally, they're shooting from 10 yards away, 25 yards away.
So a child can't
Against-
walk back in there?
A child would have to walk literally in front of the officer shooting. Okay, well,
Please don't speak from the audience, please.
I'll say it. There's stray bullets in the woods. I mean, we could walk back there right now, and I could come here with a handful of stray bullets, and I won't be anywhere near that range. Would you be okay if it was your child? If your house was backed up there and your children were playing in the woods?
I certainly understand, and I certainly hear what you're saying. I guess
Thank you.
my question is to all of you folks is that I've been on this council for 11 years now, and none of you have ever come before.
I've been complaining for 10.
What, have you come to the,
Called the chief
well,
constantly.
we've never,
I've worked for my town council.
we've never, well, it's never gone, I'm just saying.
Because it hasn't been continued.
Please stop interrupting the councilman. He didn't interrupt you, please.
I guess my point is that for the last 11 years now, we haven't heard a word. I've been on this council now for 11 years, along with Councilman Klein, and I'm sorry, Mayor Anthony's been even longer, and we've never heard any word. So now it's just interesting that I don't disagree with some of the stuff you're saying, but all of a sudden now it's because of the extra noise that you're coming out, and that we've sort of hopefully taken care of the extra noise with the state troopers going away.
Jim Canillo, Dartmoor Road, Fox Run Estates, obviously. So we do appreciate what has been done with the state police, but as was stated before, it took us to really do it, to really get the ball rolling here, and it shouldn't have come to that. So I understand that the firing range was there long before Fox Run Estates was there, and since 1961, I think, but times change. Times change. This whole meeting today was about how much time is changing. Right? We're evolving. More homes are being built. More people are coming into the communities. So it's time for you to recognize that this needs to be changed. We are pro-police, as Natalie said. My son is a police officer in East Hanover. They fire. They have the same requirements that Livingston does. They go up to Randolph and fire indoors in the range up there. All we're asking for is for this to be looked at seriously. It's time for a change. So that's what we need to have done. Enclose it, relocate it, go shoot somewhere else, just like East Hanover police do. I don't see why this is a problem. Before a tragedy does happen, let's nip it in the bud. And I think everybody here would agree with that. Nobody wants to see a tragedy. And I understand what you're saying, it's short range, I get that, but anything could happen. Okay, we just want it to end. That's it. That's my time.
Thank you. Damn.
I just happened, I never realized about the shooting thing, but I do know we did have an indoor range here in Livingston at Northland Pool. We never use that anymore? Is there
I'm sorry,
any
what's your name, sir?
reason we cannot use that?
Did you say your name? I'm sorry.
Oh, Alan Fide.
Thank you.
Just for the record, I don't know, but I mean, I just know, I've seen the range, I've seen it downstairs. My dad actually did the plumbing in that building, and I've actually done the plumbing in there as well. So I know about it, but I know there's some issues with pollution that affects shooting. They have to redo the HVAC system or something to alleviate the smoke and that comes with shooting a gun. But I think there's lead poisoning as well involved in that. But anyway, that's not my comment. Can I comment later? My other reason I'm here for this meeting
No,
is
these
I've
are-
been
these are 3
asked.
minutes.
It's my only chance to speak, so I'm speaking now.
Speak now. Go
I,
for it.
I live on a paper street in town, and I own property on both sides of this paper street. And I've approached Barry Lewis since last June about buying vacating the street so that I can make the property into one lot. And I'm waiting to see that happen at some point, I hope, this year. Thank you.
I'm just curious, what's the area, what street?
This would be Maple Avenue in Livingston.
It's off of East Cedar.
It's off of,
It's behind East Cedar. below
it's behind East Cedar. You actually go down Dougal, you go on Stokes, and then you go on Maple to get to my house.
It's closer to Balmoral.
And that ends the end of Balmoral to the center of West Oakwood Avenue. Okay? That's where the location is. Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you, Alan.
Good evening.
Hi.
My name is Gianna Adams.
Okay, thanks.
I also live on 32 Fox Run Drive, and so, I don't want to beat a dead horse. But a couple things that we also just wanted to mention were, again, East Hanover Police, obviously, we support the police. They qualify. They do so indoors. We have family members who work at Picatinny Arsenal who allow any state police officer to qualify or shoot or use their indoor range for free. So they don't charge officers to go and shoot there. The other thing I just want to note, in today's climate, we're not anti-gun is the other thing. This is not an anti-gun issue. This is not an anti-police issue. I have a 19-month-old, and I don't want to raise her in our house the way that it is. Sorry. We never would have bought the house if we knew that the range was there. She wakes up and hears bullets. It's like living in Iraq. And we would have overpaid for our house in East Hanover. We would have just moved her to Newark if I wanted her to kind of grow up like that. So we just want to know that it's going to be looked into. There are multiple houses in our neighborhood that have gone up for sale. Unfortunately, elderly people have died, et cetera. But the poor real estate agents, and not really, because they never told us that the range was there. But they can't sell those houses because people are literally running out of the open houses because they're doing so either during the week when the range is in use, and literally people are absolutely not to the houses. So our neighborhood is developing for sure. They're getting rid of old houses. They're putting up new and advancing, and that's a huge issue for our environment and our neighborhood as well, as there is no, getting new young families in because no one wants to live there. So please just take it seriously, if you had a young baby you were trying to raise. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Hey, Justin.
Hi, Mr. Mayor. Justin Alper, 56 Amherst Place. If we're tired of just handing out proclamations on Orange Ribbon Week and doing nothing year after year, this town is in need of a proper facility for residents to freely and responsibly exercise their Second Amendment rights. Once we start planning for healthy community growth locally again, we ought to consider a modern facility that is silent to the outside world. That's something that would be interesting, bring people into the community, and set the standard of excellence for people responsibly exercising their Second Amendment rights. Next issue. With respect to development in this community, taxes are not the only consideration. When we develop, we have to also look at construction and the jobs afterwards. This is an $80, $90 million project. Of that money, how much will flow through members of the community? When we look at the old church property on Northland, we see a lot of construction workers there, but how many live in Livingston? We have a ton of construction work. If we want the construction work to benefit the community, we need to have those skilled jobs for people in the community. If we were properly planning for healthy growth, this is something that we would have started discussing 5 years ago. Instead, we had all this development pushed on us. Do we have a responsibility to plan for the jobs as well? The answer is likely yes. So when we look to, certainly when we look to change zoning laws with respect to the golf club or whatnot, we need to be securing those jobs for members of the community. It's very tough to do because the housing that we're building is not attractive. So skilled people earning real living wages are not necessarily going to want to move into that housing. You guys put yourself in a tough situation. But there's still work to be done. It's not about the taxes, especially where the taxes are going to be drawn out of the generational wealth of the members of the community. It's the wrong calculation and you're being had. But if it's going to be coming from outside funds coming into the community, that's one thing. If we are going to recognize the value of construction jobs in the community, that's another. If it's going to provide permanent jobs to the community, that's a third thing. But instead, we expect that the jobs are going to be fairly identical to the ones next door with people taking the bus in from the inner city. That's a loss. It's a loss of opportunity. It's a loss of real property. Thank you for your consideration, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Jess.
Tim Foley, 16 Mount Pleasant Parkway.
Hi, Tim.
Once again, I thank you for tabling that ordinance tonight. This is the third time I'm here requesting a discussion on this ordinance. Again, I just feel like I'm being ignored. I was here 2 weeks ago. You tabled it then, and then I also spoke about some issues at 16 South Mitchell, my mother-in-law's property. We have dumpsters in her backyard. The side property is supposed to be one way in and one way out, which now is filled with dumpsters, so you can't use both driveways. So I'm looking for some answers. I'm looking for a phone call or email from the town. You know, I know it's not the council, but, you know, town hall is not doing their job. And I'm very upset with that. I've been a resident here for 50 years. And I'm starting to get pissed off at my own town. And just a small thing with the gun range. I was 8 years old. First time I shot a gun was down there with my father, retired police officer. I don't think that range has been worked on at all. I think it definitely does need some improvements. I've been down there a few times, and it does look like it's way outdated. And I feel for the residents of East Hanover too. So again, thank you. Hopefully I can hear from somebody this week. I appreciate it. I'm off on Friday. If you wanted me to come in, I'll come in Friday.
I will, I'll follow up. I conveyed your concerns to the engineering department. I know she wrote a letter, but I will ensure that somebody gets a hold of you to sit down and have a conversation.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thank
Tim, what's 16 South, forgetting the ordinance for a second? Is
yeah,
that the
that'll
house that
help.
we talked about earlier, your mother-in-law's house? or
Yeah,
no?
yeah, there was a couple issues. The
fence
fence
was-
issue has been resolved.
Okay, and what, you said there's now dumpsters in
Dumpsters.
in the backyard of that house?
She lives right next to the parking lot, right by the post office. You know where the post office entrance is?
Yeah.
That parking lot where Livingston Pizza is and Dave's.
Yeah, okay, I know where that is.
Dave's flooring. Well, Dave just moved in there. I'm not trying to throw him under the bus, but he's got a very large dumpster, and it's very bright green. It's like as bright as your microphone. She
Okay.
sits out on her deck, and that's all she sees is this dumpster here. And there's 3 other dumpsters that belong to the businesses back there that are always overflowing. There's multiple pictures of it. I believe my mother-in-law sent in. So I just want to know what the ordinance is for dumpsters so we can take care of that also.
Barry, maybe we can ask.
Yeah, I did, and so I'm
We
glad
can
to hear
put it
the
on
one
the
thing got
list
taken
of,
care of, but I'll
we can
push
put
it
it
to
on that
code
list
enforcement.
of when we have someone to ordinance it. Thank you. All right.
Because that garage is supposed to be drive around the garage, and now it's being blocked. I believe the one entrance was supposed to be for the synagogue. Right next door, between the garage and my in-law's property. Yeah.
Hey, Tim, if you don't get a call by Thursday, could you at least let us know that nobody, thank you.
All right, no problem.
Yeah, because Friday, I think the town hall is closed, right, Barry? So,
Can we,
yeah.
Barry, who's going to call him, just so we know? Is this-
Either Jeanette or Rocco.
It's
So
here.
Jeanette, and is there any reason Jeanette or Rocco can't reach out to him tomorrow?
Yeah, they should, somebody will call you tomorrow.
Okay,
Jeanette
so
or Rocco?
If you're not hearing from,
Jeanette or Rocco?
should be calling you tomorrow.
Thank you. Hi.
I'm Karen Red Vanley. My husband and I live on Dartmoor Road as well, and the firing affects us. My husband and I have lived there for 19 years with our children. These people that are behind me are not just my neighbors, they're my family. Those that young couple that moved in, I pray they don't move, because someday they're going to pick up and go. I think Mr. Canillo said it perfectly before. Times have changed. You folks have to change. I think it's time that you readdress that, you look at it, and you make some changes. I don't know which gentleman said it before, and I know we've said it earlier, but someone was worried about the pickleball and the noise that it made, and concerned that it would be noisy for neighbors. What are we listening to? Are you not concerned about what we hear in our own backyard? So I think it's time that you all make a change. Doesn't matter that it's been there for so long, it affects all of us, and it's time for a change. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else on public comment?
Motion to close public comment?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we'll go on to reports of township officials and council members. We'll start down there. Adam?
No update at this time.
Okay, great, thank you. Barry?
Nothing for me, Mayor.
All right. Russ?
Actually, we just got notification that the county's holding their Household Hazardous Waste Day, Saturday, May 4th. It's in Cedar Grove from 8:30 to 4. Township does not do a Household Hazardous Waste Day, so you need to take advantage of that. We do electronics, and we'll have one of those in April.
Thank you, Russ. Carol?
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to mention that Livingston needs poll workers. You don't have to live in Livingston to be a poll worker. You have any interest in working the primary, which is in June, it's Tuesday, June 4th, and then again in November for the general, we would love to have you. You do have to fill out an application. It goes down to Essex County, which we can definitely help you with. Please definitely come talk to somebody in the clerk's department. We need poll workers. Thank you.
It pays pretty well for a day, too, doesn't it?
It pays $300. You have to be 16 years old. But it is a long day, I'm not going to lie.
Maybe we can put an ad in, or maybe the West Essex Tribune could write a little something about that, looking for poll workers, whether in town or out of town. Maybe we could just add, 'cause I know it's a big shortage with the primaries and the general coming up in November. So thanks, Mike.
Thank you. Counselor?
Good evening, Mayor. I have no comment tonight. Thank you.
All right. Caton?
All right, I guess I'm gonna just recall a couple of good things that happened. Was a wonderful opening of that creative shop, the business that opened up in town, Creative. It was very exciting to have that ribbon cutting, and it was a very exciting business. So kudos to them. We had a good Vietnam Veterans Day celebrations today. And again, thank you for all the veterans for their service. Actually, Vietnam Veterans Day is on March 29th, but this was a great celebration inside the library today. Today is a day of celebrating Holi, so happy Holi to everybody who is celebrating. And a couple of upcoming items. I think we're looking forward to have the 5-on-5 conversations later this week. And before we meet, there'll be Easter next weekend. So happy Easter in advance to everybody who's celebrating. That's all. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Kate. Michael?
Thank you, Mayor. Last meeting, I had mentioned the Unico Man of the Year. Rudy Fernandez, our former mayor, will be the Man of the Year. That will be Sunday, April 21st at 11 o'clock at Hanover Manor. If you're interested in getting tickets or anything, just reach out to Unico for some information. I'd also like to mention another fundraiser that our community is holding. Orange Ribbons for Jamie. High school student, and she's a junior, Raina Stern, has been very involved with that organization, and there'll be a gala on Wednesday, April 17th at 7 o'clock at Crystal Plaza. Ticket and event information is www.orangeribbonsforjamienjgala.com. I know I've already bought a couple of tickets, and it's a real great event. Our next, as Russ had mentioned, our next recycling day and paper shredding will be Saturday, April 13th is the next one. Little League Baseball opens on April 13th. Best of luck, Mayor. That's the worst job of being mayor is throwing out that first pitch and making sure it gets past home base. For those who are celebrating Holy, I wish you a happy Holy. Also, for those who celebrate Easter, happy and blessed Good Friday and Easter. And again, I just want to thank the veterans for a wonderful Vietnam Veterans Day memorial today. Thank you, Mayor.
Great. Thank you, Michael. Sean?
I'll piggyback on some of these comments. I want to wish happy Purim to everyone who is celebrating, and a happy Holy to everyone celebrating that, and a happy upcoming Easter. We went, a lot of the council members up here were invited to an iftar dinner for Ramadan, and it was lovely. That was the first time I had been to an iftar dinner before, and everyone was just so gracious and welcoming, and it was a really, I think, warm and lovely night. And then I just want to plug Pick It Up Livingston is going to be May 5th. So for those of you who may not remember what Pick It Up Livingston is, there will be teams of hundreds of people scattered around the town, cleaning up all the streets and the waterways, it's always an astonishing amount of garbage that gets picked up, and it's a great way to meet your neighbors and to feel good about the town. So everyone, please, we're going to be sending more information about that, but everyone should participate and Pick It Up Livingston. It's a great event. Thanks, Mayor.
Thank you, Sean.
I'll just piggyback, like Sean says, on all the other ones as well. There were some nice Purim celebrations that took place the last couple of days, so a belated Chag Sameach to those who celebrated, a happy Holy for today, and I do wish everybody a festive and happy Good Friday and Easter that is coming up. And we have a few weeks before I can say that about Passover, which is usually not the case, but this year Passover is much later, so I will wait for those wishes.
Thank you. I think these are all piggybacks, but thank you, Sean, for mentioning the iftar dinner. That was a lot of fun. We had a chance to light the crescent moon out by the gazebo, which was a first. So thank you all. Council members were there, and I think the whole Board of Ed was there as well. We did have that ribbon cutting at Creative. We all did some artwork there, so we wish them the best of luck. And congratulations. We went to the Vietnam Vets ceremony today. Thank you to all our veterans in town and everywhere for your service. Our veterans just always do a great job. A very meaningful ceremony talking about experiences in Vietnam and where they were stationed, what years. Just a terrific job by our veterans. Happy Holy, happy Easter to everyone. We will have the 5-on-5 on Wednesday at 7 p.m. There's an Easter egg hunt on Saturday out on the Oval by the gazebo. The Lions are putting that on. The Lions also had a great speaker series this last Saturday. Really, Kate and you and I were there, a lot of good speakers that were helpful to our kids and for public speaking in the future. And actually, it ranged a bunch of things, careers and applying to colleges as well. So yes, and Michael, thanks for mentioning opening day. It is on 4:13, and you're saying I should hope for rain on that day?
Absolutely.
I'll just practice with Bella. Yes, so that's all I have. We are going back into a continuation of our conference meeting. Yep. Yes, one more thing.
Just to plug also, the next Electronics Recycling Day is going to be 4/13. So April 13th will be the next Electronics Recycling Day.
Great. Thank you.
You did say that? Yes.